Welcome to class. I am your teacher Noria Salopi, and I was talking about corruption in grade 10. Okay, so in this video we're talking about the types of corruption. Okay, welcome to class. So there are three types of corruption here on the board, namely petty, grand, and political corruption. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. Petty corruption, we are saying this is the lowest type of corruption, typically involving lowly paid public servants or managers who abuse the limited authority of their positions for personal gain. Okay, so this is a very small type of corruption, for lack of a better term. Okay, so for example, here is a doctor who's working for a public hospital. Okay, and this doctor accepts money from a patient who is in a very long queue, who wants to actually be attended to as soon as possible. So gives this money to a doctor, and a doctor accepts this money. So clearly that's very small kind of corruption, because the money isn't enough to even enrich that doctor in any way. Okay, so another example would be this teacher working for a government school or a public school, so to say, and a parent comes looking for a place for their child, but the school seems not to have a place, and this teacher accepts some quarters from this parent in order for them to squeeze the child into the school. So definitely that's very small kind of corruption, because the money is just too small to even enrich that teacher. Okay, I hope that is very clear. Let's talk about grand corruption, big corruption, so to say. Okay, so these are payments made to senior public servants and politicians in return for favors. Such kind of corruption leads to macroeconomic instability, social injustice, and unfair competition. So these are very big corruption, so to say. Large payments are made to these senior public servants. Therefore, it brings about macroeconomic instability. So what this means is that it cripples the economy. Okay, the economy of the country or the nation will cripple. Okay, it will go down. So there will be social injustice and ultimately very unfair kind of competition going around. Okay, political corruption. So this is a corruption that mainly involves politicians. Okay, so we're saying this is the abuse of high-level authority that benefits the few at the expense of many. This type of corruption deprives citizens of basic rights and services. So what this means is that when these politicians are taking money from public offices, okay, now quote me right, we are not saying politicians are corrupt, all right? Please bear with me. We're not saying politicians are corrupt. We are just trying to explain this kind of corruption. Okay, so now just imagine these politicians, or a certain politician takes money from public service or public funds, okay? Definitely the public institutions will be crippled. Okay, that is to say, schools will be very, very lowly funded, okay, or they'll be underfunded. Public hospitals will be underfunded, and public institutions ultimately will be underfunded. Therefore, citizens will suffer and they will not have their basic rights and services. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us. Please feel free to subscribe. Bye.